Well, hey there. Welcome to the Elsa Kurt Show. I am Elsa Kurt, and we are continuing with our series from the NRB convention that was in Orlando a couple weeks ago. And we got to do some really great interviews and talk with some just incredible people out in the world doing amazing work, and just helping people everywhere they go. And today's interview is no exception, or today's guest is no exception. Her name's Elizabeth Good, and she is an author, a speaker, an advocate, and she has really done some incredible things in her time. And she's got one heck of a story to share, and her passion, and her reason for doing the work that she does. And she's got some really incredible facts that she shared that I was stunned by. I had no idea. I'm still a little bit surprised by some of the things that she had to say, and I'm looking forward to you hearing it as well, because I think if it doesn't impact you personally, it may impact somebody that you know and love. And boy, oh boy, it's quite a conversation. And she's just yet another lovely human being that I got to sit and chat with. We talked a little bit beforehand, and she's just lovely. She's just lovely, and her heart and her passion for what she does is very evident. You ever meet people that you just right away connect with, and you're like, yep, you're my person. You're my person. I like you. She's one of those people. She's terrific. And I really look forward to seeing all the amazing things that she's going to continue to do with her work. She's got a couple really great books out there. I think there's one that is out, and there's one that's coming, I believe. I may have to correct that. If I do, you'll see it down on the bottom, because when I go in and do my editing after and cut out anything silly or stupid that I say, I'll give you that information. And of course, any links that she has, they'll be in the show notes too. So as usual, I love that you guys tune in and take a listen to what I have to say, what I want to chat about. I just came back from Florida late last night. I was there for 9 days with my grandbabies. That was amazing. Yes, I'm tired. Yes, it's always a great reminder that I am not getting younger. I'm apparently getting older, and the audacity, but it was so great. Such a great visit, such a great time with the babies. My flight, not so much fun. That was not so great, but I fly every month, as some of you, if you've been following the show, my escapades here. I go every month to go see the grandbabies, and yes, I am so blessed and so fortunate that I get to do that. If I can't be with them every week, every month is pretty good. So no complaints. I honestly, I can't even complain about last night's flight. Flew out of Orlando, and it was storming, on and off all day, thunderstorm. So I already knew I had a 8:35 to be exact, flight PM out. And I know it's always risky to fly out in the evening from Florida, because of their afternoon storms. Yesterday was all day storms, but so I already kind of knew going in that, yeah, there's probably going to be at least a delay. So, and sure enough, by mid-morning, I think it was, I was already getting a notification. And at that point, it was like 20 minutes delay. It's like, big whoop. But I know I've been doing this a while now. I know this isn't the end of the story here. And lo and behold, it was crazy. It was constant back and forth, which I will say I've never had a reversed delay. Maybe you have, but I've never had a delay reversed. And that's what was happening. So it was like 8:35 turned into, okay, now you're departing at 9:43. And then that changed to, okay, now you're departing at 10:05. And then it changed to you're departing at 10 or 9:20. It was like, and it kept doing that all night, all the way up until maybe an hour before boarding, maybe even closer to boarding than that. But long story long, got on the plane, I don't know, I guess around 10 10:30, I think. Got home sometime after 1. I slept in. It's all good. It's all good. So no complaints. I mean, they tried their best. What are you going to do? I mean, I don't know. I am learning to let the things go that I can't control. This is what my Jesus has done for me. Oh boy. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm kidding, but I'm also serious too. That obviously is a huge factor in my life these days, which I am loving, which also ties in, of course, to going to the NRB convention, which is the National Religious Broadcasters Convention. If I didn't say that every episode that we're talking about this, if I haven't said it, I'm saying it again. That's what it was. And it was a great opportunity. And so thankful to my Right America Media family for making that happen so that I could get to be around these incredible people. So I basically always fly into Orlando. That event convention was in Orlando, and that was very nice. And what else? What else can I tell you about? So that's kind of it. I mean, I don't really have a whole heck of a lot to tell you. I could sit and talk to you about my grandbabies all day, but you probably didn't tune in for that, so that's okay. We have Elizabeth Good today that we're talking with. Next week, I'm going to bring you some more great guests that I got to interview, and we have a few more. I think it's maybe three more. I think 3 more amazing people that I got to interview and share with you so that you can use this information. And just you get something out of it, hopefully. I mean, I can't imagine you not really. What else have we got going on? So I've got another series going on. I decided on a whim, like I always do. I woke up one morning a few weeks ago, and I said, I need to do a new series for my podcast. I want kind of a separate but joined thing, and I figured, since I am talking so much about my faith journey, I thought I would make that like kind of its own thing, a little separate thing. Not that I'm not going to talk about it here. I'm going to talk about it wherever. But I thought maybe there were some other people out there that were going through this as well, just embarking on a faith journey and embracing their faith. And maybe there are some people out there like me who much later in life, or it doesn't even have to be later in life, just I guess in adulthood or at a phase of their life where this is something very new and different than what you've been doing in your life. And I know that's very common. I know people find faith at different times in their lives, and everybody's story is a little bit different, or maybe a lot different. And I did discover through this that my story is different than most or many of the stories that I've heard. And just a little explanation of that is, everybody I always talk to about this or hear about, they always have this like really amazing come to Jesus story of what changed their life, like the moment, that pivotal moment that changed everything. And I was feeling kind of like, because I don't have that kind of story. I don't have like this big wow story to tell you about my faith journey, like what happened, what changed, what did it, what's the moment. I didn't have that. I don't have that. And so I was thinking that, maybe other people are like that too. Maybe other people went through the same experience that I went through of just navigating coming out Christian. That's the name of the series, Coming Out Christian, to your family who is not Christian, who is not religious, who is not, faith driven, anything, like you are, or like I am. Obviously, in this case, I'm talking about myself. So I was thinking, like I said, that there were probably other people out there that are on this similar journey and experiencing some of the same things that I am. And I thought it would be a nice little space to just talk about that and share those things that I'm going through in the hope that it will help somebody else who is either about to start navigating their faith journey and embracing that life-changing experience and are feeling either fearful or uncomfortable or maybe even embarrassed, because I actually felt that way. I was like, I don't know if embarrassed is exactly the right word, but I was uncomfortable sharing this new phase of my life with people that have known me my entire life and that I knew would find this bizarre. And like I said, I suspect there are other people walking the same walk and experiencing the same things. And yes, by the way, I am out on the porch again, and that is a very loud helicopter, I guess, going overhead. So yeah, real life, man. It's what happens. So anyhow, so the series is called Coming Out Christian. There's 4 episodes, 2 or maybe 3. I think 3 are out. I'm putting out new ones on Wednesdays. I don't know how long the series is going to be. There's 4 in the tank, so to speak, as of right now. And I expect to keep going with it. So if that's something you're interested in, join me on this new journey. Maybe you are somebody who is well versed in the Christian life for way longer than I have, and maybe you can offer us newbies some advice and encouragement and suggestions. We're so receptive to that. We're like little baby birds, just soaking it all in and just learning. I'm loving the learning part of it, and I'm loving the way this all makes me feel about life, about death, about everything, about people. Boy, it just changes you so much in such an incredibly wonderful way. And I can't help but share. So that's what that series is about. I would love if you went and checked it out and shared your thoughts and feelings on it too, because I really love talking with you guys in the comments. What else? Let's see. Oh, I always have to ask you, because I used to always forget this, like every episode up until the past, like maybe 3, I always forgot to ask people to subscribe to the show because I always feel so cheesy doing that. But I'm asking you if you could subscribe. That would be so lovely. And yeah, so that's it. So here is my interview with Elizabeth Good. She is so lovely, and her links will be in the show notes, and we'll see you in the next one. Enjoy. Well, hello, guys. Welcome. We are at the NRB convention. We are with Elizabeth Good, and she's got an incredible story, an incredible purpose, and I'm so happy to have you on here. We became fast friends before we started filming, so I feel like I'm sitting here with a new friend, so it's very, very cool. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, I am honored and excited to talk with you more.
I love it. So so we have a really big topic we want to talk to you about, but we're going to give a little background first. Now, you're a leader. You've been a leader in the anti-sex trafficking movement since 2011. So that alone, obviously, is just an incredible thing to take on because it is so huge. So if you don't mind, very briefly, will you tell us a little bit how you got involved with that?
Yeah, I came from Chicago, and I was an area pastor at Willow Creek Community Church. So for a decade in leadership at Willow. I grew up there and sort of got burnt out, the whole ministry thing, and was moving to Florida to do nothing was the goal. And was part of a fundraiser looking for a charity. And as I first moved to Sarasota, a beautiful area, Longboat Key, Siesta, was asking what's an underdog charity we could bring to the light. And they said, how about the fact that our local children are being sold for sex? And who ever heard of that in America? Right. And so before you knew it, I'm leading Safe Housing, but after a decade of the same stories, over 5,000 girls, same story, sexual abuse, secrets, not talking about what happened. So pivoted into where I am now.
Wow, that's so incredible. And, what a calling. Did you feel called to do that? How did that come to you?
I was always passionate about secrets. So I had received my master's in clinical psych when I was 28, so I'm 54 now. And everybody I worked with, it was about the secrets. They would come to you with a symptom, and it always was back here, the root level secret that they never dealt with. And then once this was healed, this sort of falls off. So I was intrigued with that. Then I moved to Florida, and I had gone through a crazy situation of my own healing that brought up some of my own secrets that I didn't even know I was really even hiding. An abortion that I had that came after sexual abuse, and just pathways of, Satan just makes you hide and shame and shame and shame. And so I had moved to Florida, and the first place I volunteered was post-abortive healing. I was creating one of their first groups for that, and every single person in that had the root of sexual abuse too. And I'm like, more secrets. And it was all these church leaders, elders, 5 abortions, leaders, 3 abortions. Like, no one talked about it. Nobody was having a space to talk about it.
Wow.
And so the trafficking thing, it just sort of unfolded and ended up, there was no one to write a check to.
Sure.
That's how I got into that. But I was passionate once I realized it's the same root. If it was not for the secrets, we would not be dealing with the symptoms of abortion, of trafficking, domestic violence, all of the outcomes that we are really passionate about talking about.
Right.
But it's down here. Is where it begins.
What an astute connection to make to realize that what the root is, and it's the secrets, and it's very pervasive in the church community, right? I mean, there's just so many things that are taboo to talk about, and before we started recording, we were talking a little bit about this, and you mentioned a really amazing statistic, really, or I don't know if it's really a statistic, but a number of the childhood traumas and secrets that don't come out. And what was the average age?
Well, the average age of sexual abuse is 3, 4, 5 years old.
Okay.
Addiction now is beginning, pornography and little boys and little girls, 7, 8, 9. The average age people speak about their secrets, 53 years old.
I mean, talk about that's a lifetime.
Yeah.
That is a lifetime of holding in trauma secrets when there can be healing. So you have a foundation. Will you tell me about the foundation?
Sure. It's called
Thank
the
you.
Foundation United.
I love the name.
Foundation United. We need a solid foundation.
Yes.
Jesus is sort of the rock of it all. And then we look to find like the best solutions. Because after running housing and realizing what a symptom that was, every girl had sat in school. Every girl had literally been arrested. Every girl had been hospitalized or had medical care. All those guys had blind spots, didn't know what they're looking at. So for years, since we started the foundation in 2018, we're sort of focused on that systemic training of, let's get these girls in kindergarten. Let's get them in first grade. Let's not have them be 26 years old and feeling they have no destiny, no identity, like fighting to get it back. And then as my first book came out, Groomed, it was COVID. And we were all locked down.
Wow.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not touring. I'm not doing anything. And so I love making curriculum. I love going deep. And so I created this curriculum around it. And I just opened it up on social media. Hey, anyone want to do it with me? Let's do it for fun. Most of my friends are leaders in the church. People signed up from like Alaska, all over other countries. Wow. And every person, stuff was coming out that they've never said before. And so they started saying, can you do this from our husbands? And so then it turned into, and then the school one we did was K through 12. And so people are like, can't we have it for kids? Because our kids should be talking about it. It was just leading the narrative and taking it back. Like social media and the world and the enemy, they're talking about sex.
Right.
And they're talking about how to get addicted, how to be confused, how to this. And we're just at the church like, oh, no, we don't talk about that. We don't go there. That's uncomfortable. And this just sort of was like this underground grassroots thing that started happening. So then I was doing it for fun. So then we decided, let's just put this under the Foundation United, because quite honestly, the church is the only system that could change everything.
Yes.
If we got real and if we were honest and weren't pretending and hiding and we normalized these conversations, I have from children to grown men, like leaders of military, chaplains of the Southern Baptist Convention, hiding, saying, Elizabeth, I have no one to confess to. There's nowhere to go. I'm too high up. And that was never the plan. So it's really just bringing back basic biblical tenets, but perfectly packaged to go into church.
That's what people need, So what an amazing and smart approach to this, because that's exactly what you need. You need the truth, and you need the light to be shined on everything. But you also need it to be packaged right for people, because people, this is our society. Everything has to be. Yes, exactly. And I want to, I wrote down in my notes because it really moved me. Just very briefly on your book that's published. You said that there's a quote right in the beginning, and it says, someone in your past sold you a false story about who you are and what you're worth. And that really struck me so much. And I strongly feel that book has really changed lives, and people should go check that out, because like you said, there's trauma and secrets that we have that we haven't. And if you're not in our age group,
Right.
I'm not telling you our age group. I don't mind.
We're at that age.
We're at that age that we're not telling you our age. But yeah, that's devastating to hear, that people are holding on and not living their best life, and not fully getting to enjoy the beauty of faith and of God and all that, because they're hiding. And so what you're doing is really incredible. And now you're working on a new book.
Yes.
Yes. Tell me about that.
Oh, I love the new one so much.
I can tell you start smiling
I'm
right
like,
away.
oh,
I love that.
Because the last one is called Groomed.
Okay.
So it's by HarperCollins, Groomed. I love it. But it sort of just starts sort of getting into it. And then the second one is called Speak the Unspeakable.
Speak the unspeakable.
Real talk
Wow.
on secrets, sex, and being set free. And it's really for believers, because, what you're sharing about when we're young, someone sold us a lie. It's never intentional. I always say it's never intentional. It's generational. Like with my mom, she's like, well, we didn't talk about that. She knew when I got sexually abused in the hometown where she came from. She never spoke to it. She never told me about her abuse. She told me about her abuse when she was 84 years old. I'm like, what if she had told me when I was 14?
Sure.
It would have protected me. And I think that all the things that happen, it's not all about sexual abuse. And so I think that's the thing for people to understand. The speak the unspeakable is what you said.
Yeah.
It's grief and things we come into agreement with. Like, I had a sister who was accidentally killed when I was little. And it was tragic. She was just gone in 1 second. And no one talked about it. My family's coping was not to speak. We don't speak about anything, We don't
Yes,
talk
yeah,
about
it's
it.
so relatable. Yeah, so relatable with the family just not speaking.
Yeah.
We were raised to, it doesn't matter what's going on behind the doors. When you open that door, you put on your best face and you smile and you act right, and you don't talk about things. So,
No.
so understandable.
Yeah, and then you come into agreement with your child.
Right.
So what I came into agreement with at a young age was I didn't get to grieve. My grief wasn't important. I was the youngest of probably 30 cousins and aunts and uncles, and I was least important. Someone actually said to me, you barely knew her. I was like, it was my sister.
Whoa.
So I realized my grief doesn't matter. I'm here to comfort others. And I took on a false sense of responsibility. That was the root of most of my things. I mean, I think it made me vulnerable to not have a voice. And I think predators look for those of us that
Sure.
don't have a voice.
Absolutely.
But it was the lie prior. It was the grief and I don't matter. And we just don't have off-ramps to let people access things they haven't processed.
Now we
and
do.
it repeats.
Thanks
Yes,
to you.
now we do.
Now we do. And your foundation. Elizabeth, I can't thank you enough. This is such valuable information and a path to healing for so many people, and education too. So to stop these patterns from repeating, and that's such a huge gift. Will you do me a favor? Tell everyone where they can find you, where they can help, if there's anything they could do to be a part of this incredible experience.
Well, I would say to definitely go to the foundationunited.org, and that our website, under the prevention tab, it drops down to Real Talk. And that has everything. Like, you could print it and walk it into your pastor. If you're not part of a church, you could actually still connect with us and find out how to be part of a group. So you would just contact us on that page. But some people are like, a lot of people are not plugged into churches right now.
Right.
There's been a big sort of transition, and everyone's sort of feeling the detachment.
Yes.
And a lot of people. And so we have all kinds of things for the family there too. We have one
That's
that's just
beautiful.
K through 12. If your kids are in school, we could roll it out at whatever school they're in. And it's secular versus Real Talk is Christian. And we have things for the family. It's just our whole passion as having Christians get back into the game and talk about all of this, because Satan is killing it. He's like marketing genius everywhere. And we as the church have gone quiet and gone very background. And this helps you just step into it, not in a scary way, but just normalizes it so that there's an off ramp and an on ramp. People can get on this conversation and safe places to go. We have a whole team. We call them our private pathways, where if you go through it and stuff comes up and you don't have like a great deep someone to process it with, we have a whole background of like Holy Spirit, healing, fast, beautiful places to bring you guys the whole whole church into places of talking about it and feeling healed.
That's so beautiful and so amazing. And these services, like you said, they can actually bring this to their own churches and help facilitate that happening. That is just amazing. Elizabeth, thank you. It has been a huge joy to be able to talk to you and to share this information. Thank you. Guys, you heard it here. Go check out that website and help your churches help all of us. We will see you the next time. Take care, guys.
Hey friends, if you're looking for a new book to read, why not check out one of mine? You can find them on Amazon.com and of course at elsakurt.com.